Hello everyone and welcome back for the first time in a long time to the Batman miniature game on the channel, and it might be few and far between going forwards as well due to most of the current crews and teams getting updated decks, which is a good thing by and large, but it does mean that the current cards for objective decks are no longer applicable for a lot of groups, and some groups have changed now and who can be used and what, etc. Night Models are apparently bringing out a card pack to reflect all these changes, but there's no specific date beyond the first quarter of next year in 2024. So that's a problem, because although they are available digitally, printing off over 300 cards to make everything usable is utterly unfeasible. So and impossible for me at the moment. Don't even have a printer. So I won't be able to do that. Won't be able to provide the cards for the channel. We could still do the game occasionally using crews like we are today that haven't been changed at present, or at time of recording at least, but that does offer severe limitations, unfortunately. But with all that said, today we are going to be seeing a 350 point match between a Joker crew with a little bit of a Christmas theme going on, up against Deacon Blackfire's Cult for the second time on the channel, I think. And as I say, both of these groups have not been changed at all.
This video is sponsored by Noble Knight Games. Check out the video description below for an affiliate link that will take you through to their store, and it will help me out as well. Thanks.
And here is the Joker crew. The only upgrade in the whole crew is for the Joker. He has his enhanced gas, and this is the Christmas Joker that on the app is just called Joker. It's not even like Father Christmas in brackets or anything. And he is a unique model with his own stat card. He's mostly the same as your standard typical Joker, but he has a one-time use very deadly, well, it's double stun weirdly, but a once per game very deadly candy cane that once it's gone his offensive capabilities go way down. He also gets benefits if he takes out someone. I think he gets a free suspect marker place. And the paramilitary Lobo, who is the free agent next to him, who's wearing a Santa hat for some reason, is also using that role. So they're both playing the role of Santa, murder Santas this time around. I forgot to mention, but this Santa Joker was given to the channel by Night Models as compensation for the unpleasantness in 2022's Black Friday sale. Everything else is purchased. So we have Lobo as the free agent, paramilitary. We have Gaggy. We have Street Jesters 1, who's got the barrel full of rockets, and 2 with the swords on his back. 2 of the Joker's victims, I believe that's Joker victims 2 and 3 at the back there. Rastaklen with his very dangerous gun, and the Joker paramilitary 2 with his very dangerous gun, and they're going to be in the black and yellow Audacity markers. And here is Deacon Blackfire's Cult, who most definitely will perform better as a horde, but the list is a bit different this time with a few more powerful units, meaning that they don't have those like 4 or 5 easy to defeat hobos running around putting suspect markers down. But we'll see how they do with a bit more of an elite list against Joker's more hordy, although they have Lobo, but still. So Deacon Blackfire is the leader. His totem will be placed on the table during deployment. We'll cover that then. They get an extra sewer marker thanks to Ratface being here. They also have Jake as a sidekick back there. And they have the Batman Cult, the mind-controlled one. He only is allowed to get Audacity and use efforts if he is near someone with a fervent follower or leader trait when he activates. We have the young woman, Sally, and then just the, what they call, vagabond wagons, I believe. Both versions of them. One of them focusing on loot, one of them focusing on charging and swinging paddles and whatever else, machetes I think, at people. And they are in the black and red. So we're all set up and good to go, and you can see that Blackfire's totem has been basically set up right smack dab in the middle of the table, more or less within certain distance of that sewer marker there. And Joker's crew's on the left with 9 models. Deacon Blackfire's Cult has taken first activation. They will have some passes if they choose to use them though. They also had a bunch of different spawns outside of the normal 8 inches in from either side. Batman has hidden, but he wants to be within 4 of someone with the favourite follower, so he's not much further forwards. He's within 4 inches of Jake there, so he's allowed to have Audacity issued to him. Speaking of, Deacon Blackfire has it and Ratface has it. He's allowed to start in base to base with a sewer marker. He's just picked one in deployment, so he could have done that anyway. This is Lord of Sewer role. During setup, thanks to his Undercity knowledge, Jake lets you pick up to 2 or 3 vagabonds with the unknown name, and they can set up within 4 inches of a sewer marker instead of in deployment. They both have, right there, tucked in to avoid getting shot. And I think that about covers it, other than just a reminder how Deacon Blackfire's faith works. His does not disappear at the end of the round. At the end of the round, he takes blood damage equal to times 2 whatever the round is, i.e. at the end of turn 1 he takes 2 blood damage, minus however many faith points he has. So he wants to have at least 2, which is how much he's starting with, because Jake and Ratface have the favourite follower role. So you want to hold on to them. They can also be placed on the totem if they're nearby when they're gained, I believe. And for Joker's crew, we'll just do a quick lineup. Rasta Clown is down here with Audacity. Joker has it, so does one of the Street Jesters and Lobo. With the exception of Lobo, everyone else could potentially shift around. This Joker does have Chaos Agent, that's just showing intent for the purposes of recording, but it is subject to change. Neither side are playing any Phase 1 or Phase 2 objective cards, so we're ready to get started, but with just a little proviso. I think the last battle report went up on the channel just over a month ago. It's been longer than that since last playing this, so expect it to be a little rough. Already feel rusty just from covering the start of the game, so we'll see how it goes. Let's get started. Deacon Blackfire's cult did indeed pass to get the game started, so it was over to Joker's crew and Gaggy activated. Poor innocent little Gaggy. He moved forwards without Audacity, but he did start next to his boss. He put down a suspect marker using that free manipulate, which became Explosive Teeth, and he rolled a 2, so it's going to explode pretty soon. But we've seen this before. There's the text if you want to read it. The cult passed once again, so it was back over to Joker's crew. One of Joker's victims activated, and without Audacity just did a straightforward 8-inch move. They do have that mindless monster rule, so if he was within range to attack somebody, he'd get a free attack, but this was just a deliberate waste of an activation, really. The teeth, though, moved towards him a whole inch, which does not bode well for anyone getting hit by that if Deacon Blackfire activates someone very far away. I kind of like the theming that's happened on the table, because it kind of looks like the cult has just decided to take up residence in this hotel over here, and for whatever reason, Joker has taken umbrage with this. So the cult finally activated someone. It was young woman, aka Sally. I think they only gave her a name just so that she can't benefit from certain roles that just use no-name hobos. Could be wrong, haven't read the Batman cult book. I wanted to, but I can't find a copy of it that's not ridiculously expensive. But that's a story for another day. Sally walked around the corner here. She is a henchman rank, so she benefits from the Inspire from Deacon Blackfire, which she used. Put down a suspect marker, just a normal suspect marker. At which point the teeth moved towards her 2 inches, putting them roughly there, exploding them, and hurting absolutely no one, so it doesn't score. Next up for Joker's crew was Street Jester 2, the one with the dual katanas on his back. He was originally going to have Audacity, but again, the henchmen all have Trickster, so it's essentially a pool they can draw from. So he's actually not using the Audacity. He just moved up 8 inches and then used the Inspire from Joker being right next to him to put down a bog standard normal suspect marker. It's not even a fish, just a normal one. So next up for Deacon Blackfire's cult was Jake, and he had a busy turn that we'll cover in a second. However, during young woman / Sally's turn, she should have put into play This Is the Evil. It doesn't affect what Jake did at all, but just covering that this should have been in effect, it will start procking up with Jake in range, though at the top of the next turn when Favourite Follower makes him generate Faith. But it's just when a model gains Faith within 4 of the totem, put 1 on a stun marker on this card and score when it has at least 4. So it's in play, it doesn't affect what happened. So just covering that now. During Jake's turn, he first of all used Undercity Command as a special action to point at a vagabond within 8 and within 4 of a sewer marker to say use that sewer marker without any of the penalties. So he pointed at that one and he sent one of the wagons through that just popped out there. Risky though, because it is within range of a gun that could borrow an Audacity to just move up and shoot. He might survive, he might not. They're there to die. He then moved up to where you can see him, which is within 4 of the totem as planned, and he used his tactical action to shoot the Joker's victim here. He's the only guy, other than Batman I guess, on the Deacon Blackfire cult that's at all dangerous really, with that double blood Uzi of his, and he more than murdered this poor fool, and as a result scored Tempted to Despair for a massive 3 points to get us off this, the starting blocks. Remove an enemy model as a casualty within 4 inches of a sewer marker. I've just realised, does that mean the victim is within 4 inches of a sewer marker, or does that mean he's within 4 inches of a sewer marker? Because if it's the latter, then that's wrong, because he's... Oh no, sorry, he is within 4 anyway. That's a good question actually. Remove an enemy model as a casualty within 4 inches of a sewer marker. Do both of them need to be within 4 of a sewer marker? That would kind of make sense, because it is worth 3. In this case, it doesn't matter, because Jake is within 4 of a sewer marker, and so was the Joker's victim, as it turns out. Forgot that was there. But that is a good question about which way you interpret that card. I'm sure we'll get an answer soon. The paramilitary Joker thug activated paramilitary 2. He borrowed Audacity that was sitting, and the choice was, do you kill the vagabond who's up to shenanigans, or do you score a card? I'm sure that's a question we've asked ourselves in real life as well. He opted to score a card. He moved up, placed a suspect marker within 4 inches of the vagabond that took the sewer grating, and scored as a joke. As a result, let them in on the joke for 2 victory points, which again we've seen before. Both players discard a card from their hand afterwards. So it does let it live for another turn. It means he's going to get an activation, but not necessarily a bad thing. Well, choosing to embrace the small extension on their life that they've been granted by that choice of action, what are they called? I keep on calling them vagabonds, but it's wagon, underworld, or wagon 1. Just in general, it's easier to say vagabond and less mean than saying hobos, I suppose, although murder hobo is always a funny sentence, or funny phrase. Anyway, they didn't have audacity, so the fact that they could move after going through the sewer via Jake's command didn't really matter, but they put down a suspect marker and met the criteria for where the trail ended. Another one of Deacon Blackfire's specific objective cards. A friendly model places a suspect marker within 4 inches of a sewer marker. Simple, for 2. Next up for Joker's crew was the paramilitary Lobo, who moves 10 inches and he has range 3 on his basic chained hook attack. He's got a kukri and a chained hook. His chained hook is blood stun, so is the kukri, but it comes down to their special rules. Anyway, he attacked the vagabond, or what is it called? I said vagabond again. Underworld or wagon. And he's strength 3+, base attack 5, neither side efforted, and getting through that defense 2 was not a problem. He also is a close combat master, and he is counting his close combat because his weapons got reach. So he had full rerolls as well, and he has sharp on his chained hook, so even the strength die was rerolled. Long and short of it is every single hit got through, so he did the maximum possible damage he can do without efforting, which was 6 blood, 6 stun. The vagabond is a 4 willpower, 6 endurance, so at the very least he would have been knocked out, but maybe it's for the best that he is in fact splatted. Now, whenever anyone in the Deacon's cult dies, they give 1 faith because of the... what is the rule called? The rule is called... Blackfire Cultist, I think. Is it just built into that? Yeah, when this model is removed as a casualty, add 1 to your faith pool. However, I totally forgot the Don't Mind Me rule. So there was actually 3 more defense in there, because they have free efforts if they haven't attacked, and he hasn't attacked. So he has 3 chances to roll a 5+, actually. Well, never mind. Never mind. He needed 5s. So, no, I forgot, yeah, all the Deacons people have Don't Mind Me. So if they haven't attacked, they get free efforts up to their current limit. So only Jake would be exempt currently. So though he may be controlled by mind control drugs, Batman activated, and a small addition to what Jake was doing earlier, he did it within 4 inches of Batman, and the rule doesn't say it requires line of sight. So because he killed someone within 4 inches of Batman, his inner good instincts kick in and he bops him on the back of the head for 2 stun. So Jake has 2 stun damage. Anyway, Batman moved out down here, and then he threw some batarangs at the other Joker's victim, easily knocking the poor so-and-so out. They've got 3 willpower, 3 endurance, but they have the feint rule, so if they get knocked out, they are removed as a casualty. And that wording is important because that means join the fold can be put into play. It doesn't score, but it can be put into play. Play when a friendly model removes an enemy model as a casualty. Because of the way the feint rule works, that seems to be the case. That model places the suspect within 4 inches of a friendly model with the rank leader or sidekick. So it doesn't score yet, but it's in play, and Batman's hard to shift. So if he puts a suspect marker down within 4 of Jake or Deacon Blackfire next turn, that will score for 3. Sensing an opportunity, Rastaclown activated because Batman accidentally left himself within 4 inches of a lamp, which means his Master of Stealth is useless. So he stayed where he was. He isn't going to use that audacity, so it's been moved. And he shot at Batman. And it was, 4 dice in total with triple blood. Having to go through defense 5, this Batman doesn't have bat armor, so the strength die only needed a 2+. The strength die got through, but lucky for Batman, the rest of the hits it didn't, because that could very easily have killed him. It does soften him up, though, so that maybe Lobo could finish him off. Ratface was up next for the cult, making use of his Lord of the Sewers rule to continue moving after using a sewer once per game, to pop out and then get into base-to-base contact with Paramilitary 2 down here, and the suspect marker he had placed during his turn to score a card, to score IC. Right here, once it comes to focus, a friendly model that has used a sewer marker this round reveals an enemy suspect marker, scores for 2. However, in classic Joker fashion, that triggered his trap card. So long it's been a guess, the top version has triggered which means that the cult has to pick one of their models and place a friendly suspect marker down and gets enervating 2. So Ratface has put down a suspect marker. It is outside of range 4 there. Sorry, it wasn't in focus. There we go. And he has enervating 2. The other Street Jester that has a penchant for exploding activated, moved down here. He took the last audacity that wasn't assigned to Joker himself and has put down a suspect marker, except it was not a suspect marker. It was a stinky fish. They finally got it in hand, so it doesn't look fresh as in play. I think it's definitely going to score. I don't think the other wagon... the other wagon might be able to reach, actually. The Deacon won't be able to, and it's only those 2 left, so one of them will be activating in a second. So of those 2, it was the party wagon that swung around the corner here 8 inches, and then using the Inspire from Deacon Blackfire, put down a suspect marker next to that sewer marker that I keep forgetting about, and scoring, I believe, the second where the trail ended for putting a suspect marker within 4 of a sewer marker. Simple as that. Scored easily. Final activation of turn 1 for Joker's crew was the man himself in his Santa costume. He didn't do much, he just moved up. There was, like, he has all the basic Joker rules, Chaos Agent, Trickster, Luck, etc., Psycho. But as far as special rules go, hilariously he has a back cape because Santa can fly, or float at least. Not super relevant for the particular layout we're playing today, but that is fun. He's got the bloody Christmas special action that we talked about with Paramilitary Lobo over there, but there's no way to use it currently because he can't get anyone. So he did kind of just do nothing for his first turn, which is a bit of a shame, but he has that one-time use, really dangerous candy cane, and I guess he's saving it for either Batman or Deacon Blackfire. So to end off the round, we have Deacon Blackfire's activation, and oh boy, he has complicated activations. He's got so many rules. So let's try and cover this. He moved up, first of all, to where you can see him. He wants to bring the fight to the centre near his totem. And then he put down a suspect marker for a tactical action. Simple as. It's outside of 4 of that. And importantly, it was within 4 of this guy down here, but we'll come to that. When he places a suspect marker, you flip the top card of your objective deck, and based on the type it is, something happens to an enemy model within 8. If it's one of 2 types, they get hypnotized, or they suffer it, so you have to roll off the willpower roll. And if it's the other 2, they get enervating 3. He got the one that's hypnotized. It was I feel weird, whatever it's called. So this gentleman, with his very poor willpower, failed and was hypnotized. So 2 actions. He moved into Gaggy and attacked him. Gaggy did 1 free effort, or rather he efforted once because it would heal at the end of the turn anyway. I believe he gets 2 free efforts because he was hypnotized. And with his double blood, overwhelming, heavy, sharp katanas, obliterated Gaggy from orbit. So his mind was not his own, but he did remove Gaggy. Then, as a special action, he used Exalt. He picks 2 people with the Blackfire Cult keyword within 8, I think it is. They can do a move action, and then if you discard a violence objective card, which he did, because IC is the violence right there. So he discarded that. One of them is allowed to attack. He moved Jake out of trouble a little bit over there. He moved Batman, because he does have the keyword for this version of Batman, into base to base with this gentleman here, and paid that card to let Batman beat the tar out of him. Used the red markers for the damage he did instantly, just to show that his mind wasn't his own. It was the Deacon making him do it. So Batman obliterated this Street Jester. Does he have a chance to explode on stun damage, or is it only on blood damage? Because he might explode every time this model receives any damage. Oh boy! Well, make it more complicated. Explode. He did not explode. He is, however, very unconscious. So at the end of a very rusty feeling battle round 1, here's how things stand. The table is filled with icons, as even after removing all the damage, etc. And the Joker's crew suffered a lot of casualties. They're down 3 thanks to Gaggy getting killed by his own friend there. But that's good for the Deacon Blackfire Cult because they're going to lose at least a person a turn to Lobo, probably. So with the way their list is constructed, they don't have the numbers to just lose 3 or 4 people per turn and be okay. So they need to score a lot of cards early because their scoring is going to drop off real quick. So I think they did the right thing to just score as many cards as possible there. Speaking of which, they're not scoring any additional ones in Phase 4. Join the Fold stays in place, so Batman puts down a suspect marker within 4 of Jake or Deacon Blackfire next turn. That will score for 3. And This is the Evil is also in play. I don't believe anyone generated any faith because you don't get it for kills with this cult. You only get it if you put down a suspect marker within 8 of him, or if you have the Fever and Faller at the top of a turn. So I think they're only going to get 1 on that card at the top of the next turn because of Jake being within 8. The It Doesn't Look Fresh that was in play for Joker does score. It's currently concealed underneath Batman Cult, but it is under there. So that scores for 2. They're not playing any other phase 4s or anything like that. So going into round 2, Joker's crew is a little bit behind, but let's see what happens. At the top of round 2, Joker's crew have taken first activation, and we'll see where Audacity is in a moment. Forgot to cover though, the unconscious Jester, Street Jester, he actually woke up on a roll of snake eyes. So he's knocked down, but he is awake. In terms of new cards being played, both sides are playing a single card. Let's Dance is being put into play for Joker's crew. So if Joker or Lobo get hit this turn, this will score for 2 victory points. The Unworthy, which is Jake's unique card, is being played by the Deacon Blackfire cult. Hopefully in focus, more or less. Target an enemy model, that model is removed as a casualty. Doesn't even need to be first, just needs to be removed as a casualty, i.e. murdered, and Rasta Clown is the one being picked for that. So beyond that, with Audacity, Jake has it, Deacon Blackfire has it, Batman has it, and he can get it because he's within 4 of both of them, basically. And a bit of a risky one, Ratface has it. If Lobo decides to murder him, that will be Audacity wasted. In terms of the Joker crew, Paramilitary's got Audacity, although again this is, it can be swapped. So does the recently unhypnotized dual katana wielding Street Jester. Joker has it, his isn't allowed to move, and Lobo has it, and his isn't allowed to move either. Actually, I guess Joker's is, because he is Trickster innately. Lobo's definitely can't though, because he doesn't get given it. So as we start battle round 2, sometimes it's not about scoring cards, sometimes it's about sending a message. But with that said, Rasta Clown thought it was a good idea to go with him, because if he takes out Batman, he's denying a 3-pointer, he's denying Batman on the table, which is just, he's a super effective piece obviously, and with him still being eliminated, the strength dice hitting on 2+, which is basically given. So on 3 dice he just needs to roll 1 5+, and Batman's dead because he's a 7/7 miniaturist version. And he failed. He got the 2+ on the strength die for 3 blood, but the 3 basic dice that needed a 5 were all whiffs. So unfortunately he did not kill Batman, and that was the last of Rasta Clown's ammo. So he's basically useless now, and he couldn't quite finish the job. That does mean that Joker or Lobo could easily do it, so Batman's going to have to activate because he's not going to be long for this world, but he's still going to be able to score. So of course Batman activated, and he had a busy turn, starting with, well, he had Audacity, he's allowed to do efforts because he's within 4 of a favourite follower / Deacon Blackfire himself. He made use of his special action and his detective trait to do Vigilante's work. Actually, Vigilante's work isn't a special action. I think it is just you effort to put down a suspect marker. So he did that within 3 of himself, so it was within 4 of Jake, but not within 4 of the other 2 friendly suspects nearby, meeting the criteria to score the join the fold that was already in play from last turn, so that scored for a massive 3. Then he went wonders. He ran down here to talk to that gentleman that's been shooting at him, and clobbered him unconscious, but that doesn't meet the criteria for the unworthy. He has to die, so Batman doesn't score that one that was already in play. Did knock him unconscious, though Rasta Clown is down and out, and is scoring as a result. For the 1 card he's allowed to play this turn, They Must Know Pain, for a cheap 1-pointer for doing at least 6 damage. Yes, he could have used this to heal himself for 2. That doesn't feel like it's going to save him from Lobo, so didn't bother using it that way. Opted just to get as many points as possible, as quickly as possible, because their numbers are dwindling. The cult is going to start losing people, and they need to score as much as possible early. So before we go to next Joker activation, forgot to mention when Batman put down that suspect marker using Vigilante's work, it was within distance of the totem, which put the second marker on. This is the evil, so 1 more and it will score. Anyway, the knocked out, or the recently woken up, rather, Street Jester got up with impaired movement, waddled forwards a little bit, and because he was next to Joker, he did have an Inspire related tactical action, which he used, or manipulate rather, which he used to remove the suspect marker that Batman put down to score. So long it's been a gas. Paramilitary was chosen as the friendly to put down a suspect marker and suffer enervating 2, so now he and Ratface are even with enervating 2 each. Jake activated, came round the corner and finished what he had to do to score his card, shooting the last of his ammo into the unconscious Rasta Clown. Didn't bother putting the damage down. Rasta Clown is a defense 2 with 4 health. Didn't need to. He is very much dead. But that does mean he's killed someone within distance of Batman, so he gets bopped on the back of the head as Batman says, "Quit it!" So that's 2 more stun to Jake, but that does also mean the Unworthy, which was in play, scores for a massive 3. Unfortunately, couldn't double score or anything else off the back of that, which would have made it fantastic. If there was a Sur marker nearby, he could have, but no. But still 3 points, although Joker makes back 1 of that with You're Expendable for a henchman getting annihilated. So he got something out of it at least. Low bow activated for Joker's crew, moving 10 inches and making use of that range 3 chained hook again. He wanted to go after Deacon Blackfire, but knew that he would just pass off the wounds with a henchman nearby. And the other wagon is actually pretty tanky, 6 willpower, 8 endurance, defense 2, but he can take a hit. So he made use of the main man. When someone finishes an action, he gets +1 attack and defense stat for the round, and gets 3 free efforts, putting him at attack 6, defense 5 for the round. He also used Bloody Christmas as a special action, we'll cover that in a second. So he obliterated that wagon into little bits. That's what happens when someone who can go toe to toe with Superman attacks a couple of hobos. He did 10 blood, 10 stun, murderizing them completely. Bloody Christmas means when he kills someone by his actions, he forces them to put down a friendly suspect marker, not an enemy one, and he put down a stinky fish using it, and he hadn't played a card yet, so that is presumably allowed. Now, it does also say as part of that rule, it also counts as a bloody present marker. Joker's version of the rule says the same thing. There is no definition for what that means anywhere in the app, nor does it seem like it applies to anything. So, no idea what that means, just going to ignore it. Unfortunately for Joker's crew though, with that hobo dying, or those hobos dying, they generate 1 faith point within distance of the totem there, so this is the evil, counts up to 3, and has scored. Oh wait, no, it scores when it has 4, sorry, 4. Never mind, it's 1 more to go before it scores. In order to provide the Deacon with another bodyguard, Sally activated, walked around the corner without audacity, but as the crow flies, she was within 8 to get that Inspire from Deacon, so she used her Manipulate to remove that stinky fish to deny the score. So that does not score. It does mean she's poisoned, however, but that does not score. And unfortunately for her, it does score I'm feeling weird for Joker's crew because they inflicted poison on her. And it's a bit more clear now that the specific stats effects count in the app. They're going to need to, the compendium really needs an update, but in the app it specifies what a status is now, and like poison, fire, etc. The Street Jester that hadn't activated yet, the one with the dual katanas, activated and went after Ratface with his heavy, overwhelming sharp dual katanas. They both efforted a full 3 times, however he was still actually able to get full damage through. That overwhelming meaning -1 to the defense rolls, which actually wouldn't have mattered because he rolled 2 2s and a 1. So Ratface is a 6/6 miniature, so he's gone. That's a faith point generated, but not within distance of the totem to generate the last point needed for This Is the Evil. Didn't actually score anything for Joker's crew, but did deny that activation, which can be important. So thanks to all these casualties, we're down to Deacon Blackfire himself as the last activation for the second round. They're dropping like flies. I told you this would happen, that's why they had to score early. He walked down here. As a special action, he used Exalt again to make Jake and Batman move to their relative locations. Didn't discard a card to make one of them attack this time. And importantly, Jake is not in base-to-base with Joker. He then cracked out that combat machete, efforting once to attack the Street Jester that just recently woke up. Got him real good for 4 blood and 4 stun. He's re-knocked out, but he is pretty tanky. He's got 7 endurance, so he's got 3 left. More importantly though, does he explode? Oh, that die went off the table. For the record, it was a 5. That is a 3. He still does not explode. Kind of wanted him to, but I'm guessing not. So with that action completed, Sacrifice did score from the Deacon. A friendly model within 4 inches of a friendly suspect marker inflicts at least 1 blood. He did do that, and there's a friendly marker there and there. So he scored for 2. Now it's over to Joker and Paramilitary 2 to end off the round. Still opting not to fire that gun, Paramilitary 2 walked up here, put down a suspect marker, except it was not a suspect marker. It was, I think, well, it won't be the final one because one of them didn't score, but it is a stinky fish, and no one can get to it, so it is just a guaranteed score, so that is in play. It's just over to what Joker wants to do, and remember, he does have one really good attack he can do for the entire game. If he tries to attack the Deacon, it can be passed off to Sally or Jake. If he goes after Jake, that feels like it's a bit of a waste, because it's only stun damage. It feels like he's poking someone in the eye with a candy cane. It should be blood, but it's double stun, and knocking Jake out I don't think cancels out the favourite follower action, which means he'll still score This Is the Evil when the turn rolls over, because he generates faith next to the totem. So it leaves him with a bit of a predicament about what the best course of action is. We'll find out what he ended up doing in a split second for you. And he opted to score points, which at the end of the day is the most important thing. He walked over here and put down a suspect marker amongst everybody in order to score the second of a potential 3, let them in on the joke. And that takes us to the end of the second round. At the end of round 2, everyone who's conscious with stun damage is healing 1. Oh, he is knocked out, so he needs to do a wake up check. We'll do that and cover it at the top of the 3rd turn. No additional cards being played, so it's just down to the ones in play. Let's Dance does not score. Joker and the Lobo unmolested, no attacks. The It Doesn't Look Fresh, however, the paramilitary put into play, does score for 2. And because it's about to score as we roll over to the top of turn 3, we'll just cover it now. This is the Evil scores because it will get its 4th marker thanks to Jake generating a point right next to it. And it's whenever they gain faith. It doesn't say like a specific timing beyond that, so it scores. So at the top of round 3, Audacity is super easy to cover because both sides only have 4 conscious people, so they're the ones with Audacity. The Street Jester did not roll Snake Eye, well, not that you need to roll Snake Eyes, but he didn't pass his wake up check. Sally did pass her poison roll, forgot to cover that on camera. There's 2 cards being played in Phase 1, Phase 2, and they're both by the Joker crew. And our first is Die Hard, is being played on the paramilitary, because he's pretty safe, and if anyone comes after him, he's got a dangerous gun with full ammo. So, that's on him. And they finally got a Psychopath card in hand. These would have been so easy to score this game with how much death there's been on both sides, because it counts all death. And it took them this long to get a card into play that at this point it might not even score, depending on what the surviving cult do. But there is finally a Psychopath card in play. Cult Batman activated and eventually walked over here, but he chucked his last set of batarangs at the back of Lobo's head, getting him for 4 stun. Although isn't he huge or something? He might ignore some of that. We'll check it in a second. And he then retreated behind the rock so that the unconscious Street Jester can't see him, although I guess he's unconscious so he couldn't see him anyway. Used the detective trait plus Vigilante's work for 1 effort to put down a suspect marker within 6 of Lobo, and because he can't be seen by anyone thanks to that Master of Stealth rule, and he's outside of the range of a lamp now, he can score the first of 2, can be anyone. So that scored them for 2 because they're just going for, they're desperately trying to keep the point gap in their favour because they don't have the numbers or the force to do anything else really. Lobo activated for Joker's crew and made use of his special action 1-shot gun, 2+ strength die, 3 damage, 3 blood damage, and bleed 3 on a crit. He shot it into Sally and got the crit, which is 6 blood. She's got 4 endurance, and Charm can't save her from a ranged attack. So she's dead and will not be getting an activation. He then went after Batman. He did a movement action and then did his tactical action to attack him. Didn't effort because he only needed to do 1 blood to Batman, although Batman defense 5, he actually did really well against Lobo's attack roll, but 2 hits still managed to get through, which does mean that he is also out of there. So Lobo got a double kill, that is 2 markers on Psychopaths. Then tried to score, let them do their thing by blowing up the suspect marker that was in front of Joker there, opting to move it this way. It moved 9 though, so that's where it ended up. It explodes there, hits no one, and doesn't score. Well, the cult have got to be careful now because it's just down to the Deacon and Jake, and the latter activated, moved into base to base with the Deacon, and then also attacked the unconscious Street Jester, looking for that coup de grace damage, so that's the only damage we tracked because stun damage is irrelevant here. Did do enough that he is dead, but first, does he explode? Yeah, he actually does. That's bad. How much damage is that? Let's. I think it's 2 blood. Let's just see real quick. Boom. The model suffers 2 blood, 1 stun. That is really not good. It would only affect those 2, so they're going to have 2 blood and 1 stun damage on them. They do have to be really careful because in this household we count a full tabling as the other side winning. We'll still count up the points, absolutely, but if they get fully tabled, Joker wins. During Jake's turn he did put another This Is the Evil into play. It's probably not going to matter, but it was all he could do really. Well, the paramilitary turned around and decided to finally shoot some bullets. He shot them into Jake, who was eliminated by the light and well within the medium range of his custom double blood assault rifle with red dot for a reroll. And long story short, he obliterated Jake off the table. Jake is gone. He does generate a faith point for dying, which puts it at 7, I believe they're banking, and 1 point on that This Is the Evil. But it does leave Deacon Blackfire as the last man standing. He has to activate now. And there's still Joker and the other Street Jester to go. He just needs to live. Well, the Deacon did what anyone does when they lose their flock. They fleed. He ran away to the sewer marker right here and has popped himself up over there. Now there is 2 actions left for Joker's crew. We can cover it real quick because their options are limited. We'll come back in a second though, because one of them is probably going to put down teeth, but Joker is most likely going to go into that circle ring, teleport up there, and he's most likely going to go into that circle ring and teleport up there. In fact, if they're doing that, they're surrounded by... Oh no, Joker could put down a suspect marker, but then he wouldn't be able to use the sewer marker. Do you go after the tabling or do you go after the score? One moment, please. Actually, there was a best of both worlds situation there, because the Street Jester, actually with his 8 inches, didn't really need to use the circle ring, so he went up there and he put down explosive teeth and rolled a 1. So after whoever activates first in the final turn, they're exploding after moving towards them. So it doesn't really matter who it hits, it will score regardless. Joker, however, did use this circle ring. As far as I'm aware, you can poke out the same circle ring, it's just you can't use the same circle ring. That might be a 2nd edition rule I'm getting confused with. It doesn't exist in 3rd edition. Either way, Joker's up there now. Couldn't do anything else with his turn, however, and that takes us to the end of the penultimate round. And with that, round 3 closes with die-hard scoring for the Joker crew, because the paramilitary is still very much alive, and a bunch of people died, and only one suspect marker got put down, so Psychopaths scored for a massive 3. So the Joker crew is making that comeback points-wise, so it might not even matter whether or not there's the tabling. Either way, round 4 is definitely going to be quick, and so is the setup for it, so BRB. Dawn of the final day, top of battle round 4 is going to be super fast, with almost activations not mattering. It's all up to these 3 up here. Well, actually, he can probably shoot from where he is. But the Deacon will be going first, unless he opts to pass, which would be absolutely insane. So we have to quickly cover, though. A Psychopath's card is being put into play, which might matter. And Let's Dance came back into hand. So if Deacon hits Joker, he's just scoring them points. But he was probably going to go after the Street Jester anyway, because he's not got great stats. He's like a perfect example of a glass cannon with those dual katanas. So he's going to try and take him out. Or maybe the idea would be better to try and hypnotize him first. Unfortunately for the Deacon, the best he could manage was enervating 3 on the Street Jester and then hitting him and getting only 1 hit through. The roll was garbage. For 1 blood, 1 stun with that combat machete of his, and then the teeth would move towards him. Doesn't matter what you roll because it would stop when it reaches him. So it is going to hit him and the Street Jester for 1 blood each, scoring this card but taking neither of them out. It's a little anticlimactic because Joker doesn't need to do anything. The Street Jester activated and just went to town on Deacon Blackfire with those double blood, heavy, sharp, overwhelming katanas and did 6 to him, which on top of what he's been taking so far was enough to take him out. So he's down, and that is a tabling, meaning that the Joker crew wins, but we are still going to do the points though. So the Let's Dance in play obviously can't score because no one is there to hurt them, so that doesn't score. The Psychopath's card does score though, because Deacon Blackfire died. So that is scoring for 3, so that's going on the pile. And Lobo, during his turn, can walk over here into the street up here, put down the final Stinky Fish for his activation. So that's scoring as well, so that's a swing of 5 right there. There is nothing in the hand for Deacon Blackfire we can score. So it is a Joker victory because of tabling, but we're going to go count up the points anyway and see if it mattered. Alright, here are the 2 score piles. Let's move this out of the way. And we'll start with Deacon Blackfire's cult. Let's see what they got. They got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Not as many as I thought, you know. So I think Joker has this just on points as well. Got to beat 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, I can do it for sure, 16, 18, 19, 21, 23, yeah, okay, 25, 27. Close though. On points, it was close. 24 plays 27, but via tabling, Joker's crew does still take it. So that was fun, getting back to some Batman after fairly long hiatus. Not as long as one in the past, but still. And it is a little unfortunate that, well, it's unfortunate for me being able to play the game, that there is all these new objective decks and retweaked Suicide Squad cards, redone Teen Titans cards. It's too many. It's too many to print out literally over 300 double-sided cards, because every objective deck is 30 cards now. There's complete new decks for most crews, and some crews have been amalgamated together, like Teen Titans is part of Suicide Squad. The Batman Who Laughs has his own deck now, which is really good. I like the way it looks. I do also hope, though, that once they come to print, one, I hope it's fairly early next year, because otherwise you might not see the game for a while. And two, I hope they get proofread more before they get sent to the printer, because it is appalling how many errors I've spotted looking through them. Hire an editor that speaks English. I'm pretty sure one of the cards has the resource usage and the objective usage around the wrong way as well. One of the cards is called target acquired instead of acquired. It's like, this is basic stuff. I'm sure that was a typo in that instance, because C and D are next to each other, but you've got to proofread your stuff, or get someone to do it, pay someone to do it for you. And for goodness sake, do it before you send it to the printer, because don't send out shoddy product. I'm telling people what to do that can quite freely ignore me, but if I'm printing them off myself, those kind of errors wouldn't matter to me. I'm going to presume that this card pack, given how many cards it's going to be, is going to be expensive. And if I got the expensive card pack and spotted all the errors I've been spotting looking through the PDFs, I'd be upset. But that's just me personally. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know when you'll see more Batman on the channel outside of painting videos. But thank you for watching this one, and see you in the future. Ta-ta for now.